Hello, my friends. It's John Peterson from the Arlington Institute, and we've got a wonderful transition talk coming up on December the 11th. Sally Fallon Morrell is going to be with us, and she joins us here today to talk a little bit about her talk and the wonderful day that we're going to have on that Saturday here in Berkeley Springs. Hello, Sally. How are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm quite well, thank you, and very happy. We're really looking forward to having you with us
Thank
out
you.
here in Berkeley Springs. It's going to really be a good day. Um, let's start here for a minute for those folks watching who might not be familiar with your background. Give us a little bit of a bio here. You're quite well known in the agriculture area, but we're going to talk about it, some other things this weekend.
More in the area of nutrition. I'm the author of a book called Nourishing Traditions, which has sold over 700,000 books over the years, kind of a perennial, as they say in the publishing business. Plus a number of other books on the subject of nutrition, what I call the wise traditional diet, which is going back to eat the way our ancestors ate. And that means including animal fats in the diet, cooking in lard, eating butter, fermented foods, bone broths, natural salt, all of the ways that our ancestors used to eat. I'm also a big advocate for raw milk and founded a campaign for real milk in 1999. So I'm also the founding president of the Weston A. Price Foundation, which provides accurate information about nutrition.
Yeah, well, that's where I heard about you years ago when I was in the farming business and had a little biodynamic operation out here in West Virginia, and followed you a bit at Acres and some other
Mhm.
of the conference, the usual kind of conferences where folks like that congregate. But then I saw you show up as a co-author of this marvelous book. Talk to us about that and
Okay,
where we're
and that's
going.
what I'll be speaking about. The book is called The Contagion Myth, although with that title it was banned on Amazon. So they came out with a new title, The Truth About Contagion. So it's the same book. And I will be making the case on the 11th that there is no such thing as contagious disease, that the notion of contagion of microbes from one person to another is not based in science. And I will be talking about various diseases through history, like leprosy, smallpox, malaria, the plague, and what really caused those diseases. And then I will turn my attention to the present so called pandemic, as they say, of COVID, and discuss my theories about what is causing the illness. And I do believe it is a real illness, it's not just a mild case of the flu, it can be a very serious disease. So this talk will have two parts. The first part, just making my case about contagion, and the second part about what does cause disease and what we can do about it.
Well, this is really fundamental and very important at this time for obvious reasons. Don't need to go into those. Uh, because there is a lot of information flying around that people are just taking at face value. There are a lot of different players in the space, all of whom have different agendas, and some of them are very well funded. And it's, it raises questions in the very large terms about, depopulation and, big issues, global
Big
issues like
issues.
that.
And as my co-author Tom Cowan says, we're under a spell. We're like the Sleeping Beauty. We're under a spell. We're surrounded by thickets of lies. And the only way to dispel the spell is to not be afraid and to really look at the facts about what's going on.
A very interesting idea because I read an article a couple of weeks ago, a very interesting one about mass hypnosis and the principles and the processes that are associated with that. And then the author made the transition over to what's going on here in the COVID space and said it's the whole thing is mass hypnosis is
Yes,
what's going
yes,
on, and
yes.
it's has this replication and the many of the kind of the underlying kind of uh, dynamics of this, and it's unprecedented. It's really an
Yeah, and
amazing
it's
thing.
been planned for a long time. Yes, and so if you believe that disease is contagious, you can blame other people for causing the disease. And as we say, if disease is contagious, you treat with toxic drugs and you prevent with toxic vaccines. That's the theory. That's the theory. Whereas if you accept that there are other causes of disease such as toxins and malnutrition, then you're faced with the long, arduous, unglamorous job of cleaning up your environment and cleaning up your diet. And this is, not something that people who want to make money quickly are willing to do.
Well, the thing that really got my attention and changed my mind about things was the story about Louis Pasteur.
Yes.
And everybody knows about pasteurized milk and about germs and all that kind of stuff, which all come from this French, I guess he was, I presume, scientist who came up with this idea of germs. And I'll let you tell the story later. But what it turns out is that he made it all up. He faked it all,
He
and
faked things, yes, yes. And
and the
also
and the
Robert Koch. There were two authors of the germ theory, and I'll be talking about this in more detail and giving specific examples at my talk on the 11th. But they were charlatans. Louis Pasteur
yeah.
and Robert Koch were quacks, and they never proved the germ theory themselves. They tried and tried, but they never actually proved it themselves.
Well, the bigger problem is that what you've got is a whole uh, area of science. I mean, the fundamentals of medicine are all based upon this.
They
Uh,
are. They are.
the kind of a foundation of sand, and if you kind of embrace that and you try to and you understand as you're going to do on the 11th is explain this whole kind of process, what you find out is you see yourself and you see the world and you see healthcare in a whole fundamentally different way, and it empowers you tremendously because
Yes.
you're not dependent upon the outside and all of these germs and other kind of things that are attacking you. And
Exactly. Exactly.
so we're going to have a really good time. This is going to be the 11th, Saturday, the 11th of December. We'll all get together at 11 o'clock out here at the Cool Font Resort in Berkeley Springs, as we do every month. And we'll carry on for the afternoon, and we have a little wine and cheese reception that's part of the whole thing. And if there are people who can't make it into West Virginia for the weekend, it's going to be live streamed. And so it doesn't make any difference where in the world you are. You can watch this and you can watch it for 2 weeks after the event. You can lay in bed with your pajamas and watch this if you'd like. And but it's going to be a very enlightening and wonderful time, and you get a chance to spend some time with Sally and hear this marvelous and very insightful kind of profound kind of ideas. And so we encourage you all to come. And so, Sally, we're really looking forward to this, and thanks for coming and being with us here today for a minute.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it very much also. I will have my books there, including The
Oh,
Contagion Myth and literature from the Weston A. Price Foundation as well.
that'll be great. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.